we've known for a while that President Trump's communication style is, how to put it, unorthodox. But now we're getting a sense of how other parts of the government might communicate over the next 4 years. It seems federal agencies could end up becoming just as reticent as the president is bombastic, but not by choice. Adam Marley has more.
We are going to end the EPA intrusion into your lives.
That campaign promise became reality this week when the Trump administration ordered a media blackout at the Environmental Protection Agency, banning press releases and social media posts. Fox News thought the move made sense.
And he's trying to keep them from publishing and putting out information that may not comport with his policies. And you can hardly blame him for doing that.
Others had a darker take because an EPA spokesman said references to climate change might be deleted from EPA.gov.
Silencing the Environmental Protection Agency.
We're talking about basic intimidation and censorship.
For the record, the EPA wasn't the only branch of government hit with a communication clampdown.
Agencies from the Department of Transportation to the Department of the Interior to the National Institutes of Health, the Health and Human Services, even the USDA. Gag order. You are not allowed to talk.
But disgruntled employees talked anyway. The Badlands National Park Twitter account went rogue, tweeting out facts about global warming, which were then deleted. Now a set of guerrilla Twitter accounts are taking jibes at the president, with one warning Trump, "You can take our official Twitter, but you'll never take our free time."
Well, Dan, let me ask you this. Is this totally unprecedented? Because it seems to me, I agree with Bryn Hume to the point where you want all of your agencies to be on message, and it's a message that is set by the standards or whatever they are of the administration. So has it ever been done before that you know of?
Not to my knowledge. And yeah, there is this whole issue of the administration wants everyone to be on the same page. But at the same time, they understand that whoever is heading up with EPA, whatever the various departments are, that these are public servants who understand their job and know their role. And there are times they have leeway to be able to release the kind of daily information that needs to go out to the public, that the public has been used to receiving. And so I do think it is troubling when all of a sudden the administration just a day in, 2 days into their administration, that they make this sweeping order to, shut down these accounts. It feels a little dark to me.
Well, and attempts at control of information are not going to go well for the Trump administration because the federal government is a sieve. I mean, all this is going to do is send people leaking to every news outlet under the sun, leaking actual facts. And, as we've seen, these rogue Twitter accounts, which were the best and brightest thing to come out of this past week, are just going to proliferate. There are ways to get information out if you are a low-level or mid-level bureaucrat who wants that information out there.
There are a number of news organizations that have already taken to Twitter to just kind of remind everybody that we have secure drop boxes on our websites where you can leak information and we won't even be able to trace it back to you. So as Joanna says, it's not going to work. I think there's two issues here. One doesn't trouble me, the other does trouble me. The idea that they're going to shut down the press releases and the social media for a few weeks until new people are in place and they're all on the same page, that doesn't bother me, and it strikes me as rather routine. But there's also been some suggestions that important scientific information that these agencies produce is also going to be censored and not get out there, and that is much more troubling.
Exactly.
I agree. I mean, I think we have to separate out. Every administration has the right to say, this is the policy now. So you could take, for example, the thing that he signed that said, okay, overseas, we will not support any organization that speaks about abortion. That had been a policy before, then it went away, then now it's back. So that just meant that in terms of the programs underneath it, they couldn't do that. But it didn't mean that the programs could not put out information about what was happening in reproductive rights areas. They followed the policy of the administration at the time. So I hope that these people get that there is a difference. Nobody's stopping you from promulgating your policy, but if you start saying you can't put out what we know to be factual information, this reminds us of all the countries we say we are going to defend because democracy doesn't work like that. Right. I mean, that is the scariest thing. What do these coups, the people who are in charge of these coups, do the first time? To shut down the information, shut down what is truth. Right. So that can't happen.
China,
I hope somebody
North and
there
South Korea.
figures that out.
And that's not routine. I mean, it's not. New administrations come in all the time and they lay out the policy. This is our policy in terms of what kind of information can be put out there. But there's never sort of this mass, if you will, shut down. We don't want you to do anything until we decide what is said. That's something that's not normal.